minutes. Okay. All right, give it like one more minute.
Christin, tell us a joke.
I'm saving the jokes for my presentation. Okay. Let me give a disclaimer before I actually start, because I have a very corny dad joke sense of humor, so that is what you're getting with my jokes today. So just look at it through that lens. It's the 2 o'clock slump. Everybody's falling asleep. Oh. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for attending my session today. A little bit about me. My name is Christin Nein. I respond to a lot of different names. I get Christian, Christine, I get Nein, but it is Christin Nein. I've been with Coalmarch since 2014. I've had a lot of different roles in the business since then. I've worked a lot directly with business owners, with sales operations teams during that time. So I've gotten a lot of visibility into the challenges that businesses face, especially around sales and reporting and making decisions. Coalmarch started our journey about ROI reporting back in 2018. This is actually, we're releasing our 3.0 version of it. You might have known it as closed loop reporting back in the day. We've rebranded, it's completely different. But we've been talking to business owners about this topic for a really long time. And it's something that is a real challenge for people, because there's so many different data sources that you're all looking at every day. And to bring it all together into one place is just a challenge. So we've continued to try to work on this and kind of crack the code of how we can make it work for business owners. And excited to be able to give some tips and tricks today on how you can implement this in your own business, but also how you can do it with Coalmarch. Just so I can get a lay of the land, how many of you are currently Coalmarch customers right now? A couple? Okay, a couple. So I'll kind of speak to a little bit of everything. Do we have business owners, sales managers? Kind of what is it, a mix of things? Business owners, sales? Okay, so a little bit of everything. So I'll try to tailor this a little bit to you and what your specific needs are. So today, talking about, let me go back. The problems leaders face specifically in this area, how ROI attribution works, and what it can enable for you as a leader once you have this information at your fingertips. So, starting off, the problem that leaders face. This is my favorite quote. I use it every time I talk about ROI reporting. I don't even know who this marketing pioneer is, but he said it right. Half of my money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is I don't know which half. How many of you feel that way with your marketing right now? Yeah. If you're a Coalmarch customer, put your hands down. So, there you go. So this is really the question we set out to answer, is where are my marketing dollars working for me and where are they not? Because not every source works the same way for every business, and you really have to know, how are my marketing channels working for me and my individual needs? So kind of information from the room, how do you currently judge if your marketing is working for you? Whether you manage it in-house or you do it with an agency, what are some of the metrics that you use to identify if it's working for you. Yeah.
Response rate to the piece.
Okay.
Actual conversion to a customer on the piece. The dollar values associated with that particular sale compared to the cost to what they purchase.
Yeah, that's a lot of the right things to be looking for.
Actually determining the exact source that came to you.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Multiple touches before they end up with sold customer.
Is my branding working? Yes, door to door versus digital, absolutely. A lot of people answer this question with, well, my marketing agency reports on leads to me, and that's really my major determination on if it's working for me or not. They give me these leads, and that's how I judge it. The problem number one is that we don't have a lack of data. I'm sure every single system that you use in your business across different marketing channels, across different sales channels, is telling you they're generating this much money for you, they're generating this many leads for you. Everybody has a dashboard and everybody says they're amazing. But you might be seeing something different in your business. So it's not really a lack of data that you have, it's a lack of a shared central truth across all of those platforms. So the goal is to bring that together. To know what is working in your business. So for example, maybe you use Coalmarch for your marketing, maybe you use Podium as a live chat solution or some of their other features. Maybe you have an online e-booking system you're working with, and then your CRM is giving you tons of data as well on everything that you're doing. And you have to kind of piece together which elements of each of these are truth. Maybe I know sometimes like print and digital are both trying to take responsibility for generating similar leads. How do you know? How do you know what is the actual ROI of these channels? Problem number two, leads alone do not matter. At the end of the day, the number of leads you get really do not matter. If your marketing agency or your marketing team is really invested in the health of your business, you shouldn't be looking at leads. You should be looking at sales and revenue that they are driving for you, exactly like you were saying. So sales revenue and ROI are really what matter. Leads and cost per lead are good kind of like lead indicators that could indicate good performance. But at the end of the day, if the leads aren't closing or if you don't consider them a lead, it doesn't matter. So, okay, this is where my corny sense of humor starts coming in. I'm illustrating this with a very basic analogy, and some of these numbers are a little ridiculous, but I did it to prove a point, so I will get to the point, I promise, at the end. So let's say I can generate 400 leads for your business from the apple orchard, or I can generate 4 leads for you from the orange grove. If you're looking at leads, which one would you rather have for your business? Where are you going to put your money? Probably, if this is all the information you have, you're probably going to go with the apple orchard leads. But at the end of it's kind of a guess, right? Because leads do not matter. The lead numbers truly do not matter. You need more information. So this is typically what your marketing agency would see and the results that they would be reporting to you. So they say, okay, for apples, we spent $200 generating leads for you from apples. We generated 400 leads out of that, put $2 into oranges and generated 4 leads, and both of those translated to a $1 cost per lead. We're amazing. Look at how great we are. $1 cost per lead, that's pretty good. And we invested your money wisely. You go back to your P&L, you go back to your CRM, and you don't feel like that's telling the whole story. Your numbers are not matching their numbers, and it's just not adding up. Your growth isn't there, your profit margins aren't there. You feel like you can get more out of this, but your marketing agency is telling you how amazing they are. On the flip side, this is typically what your sales manager is seeing. In the CRM, you're seeing the source of your leads are, maybe it says website. I feel like that happens a lot. Leads are from website. Coalmarch Marketing might be what's listed as the source of your leads, but it's not detail oriented enough to get into what marketing. Was it Google Local Services? Was it Google Business Profile? PPC ads, what was it that generated these leads? No visibility in that in the CRM. So in this case, your sales manager is saying, okay, we got 400 leads in, we converted at about 60%. We got, ooh, my laser pointer's going everywhere. We had 244 sales and an average deal size of $362. $880 were made today. We did a great job. Awesome. 60% conversion rate. We're killing it. Sales team is awesome. Same thing happens. You're like, the numbers aren't representing how I feel like my business is doing. So here's what's missing. What if we look at the full picture of what's going on? What if we break it down and now we have source data across which sources each sale, each lead came from, what my average deal size is per source, not just averaged across everything. And what if I can look at how much I spent versus total revenue that I generated so that I can see the ROI of those sources. So now I can see, wow, I thought apples were killing it because we got so many leads, we were able to close so many, our closing rate was higher there. I thought that was where we needed to invest our money, but now that we have this data, I see that actually leads from oranges are far more profitable because not only did my team only spend time selling 2 of those deals and talking to 4 of those, but our average deal size was far significantly higher. So even though we made a little bit less money, the ROI is far more significant. Is everybody with me on this? I'm a big spreadsheet numbers person, so I want to make sure. Okay, this is making sense? So true indicator of sales and marketing performance is that ROI number. So now I can go back to my marketing agency and say, forget about apples. I don't care about apples anymore. I want you to put my money into oranges and see what that gets me, see how much I can get out of oranges. So when that happens, my numbers change quite a bit. So now I put same investment, $202, same as before, same as we had before. $202 investment, except now because I'm investing in an area where maybe I don't convert quite as high, but I can sell it for a higher average deal size, and I know the source of where those higher deal values are coming from. Now instead of $400 on this source, I'm selling $40,000. Again, this is dramatized for the purposes of this presentation. I'm not saying you're going to go from $800 to $40,000 overnight just by changing this, but you can see the impact that knowing these details can have on your revenue output at the end of the day. So looking at this data in more detail helps you make better decisions. Okay, here comes my joke. That's bananas. Thank you for the pity laughs. I appreciate that. All right, so how do we get all of this data from all of these sources together? That's great. I understand the importance of it, but how do I actually do it? How does Coalmarch do it? I'm going to talk to you about how we do it. We set out to answer one question when we started working on this. How much money did our digital marketing generate for our businesses or our customers? Because again, as partners with our customers, I don't care if I'm generating them 1,000 leads. If it doesn't turn into revenue and allow them to grow, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. So here's how we do it. First off, we have a direct integration between Coalmarch Marketing, our reporting, and PassPack and SA5. We have a direct API integration with their systems. We've worked directly with their products team to make sure that we can pull data out of their system, connect it with the data in our system to match up the information so we have this level of detail. So the source data and the spend on your marketing comes from Coalmarch's tracking system. The sales outcomes, the number of sales, the revenue per sale, the total revenue comes from your CRM. We pull that together into our own reporting dashboard. I know, another dashboard, but this is the good one. And attribute that new revenue to marketing sources and calculate the ROI. So now we've answered, what did we spend What did we get back and why? Any questions so far? Yes.
And this is already working with BestBack? You already have it set up?
Yes, it's in beta right now, but we are going to be making it available to all customers very soon.
Okay, and then the call and leads that come in, is that something like out of call rail?
We use CTM tracking for all of our customers.
Okay.
CTM is here. But yeah, so we set that up for all of our marketing customers, and then the tracking the reporting comes from that.
Cool. Okay.
Yep. Any other questions so far?
When is it coming for real green?
Very, very soon. Very good question. But yes, they're both being released in the next couple of months after beta. All right, a little bit in what the dashboard is going to look like here. So we use another feature that is coming out as part of this reporting is using AI to qualify leads. I've been talking to several different experts in the industry lately who have been toying around with using AI to qualify what are leads and what are not leads. And based on the research that has been done, we see that about 30 to 40% of actual leads are not making it into your CRM. So that could be, well, I didn't enter it in like as they initially called and they didn't close, so I didn't collect their information all the way. Or maybe different sales reps have different definitions of what a lead is and when it should make it into your system. So when analyzing how we wanted to do the reporting on this, we decided to use AI lead qualification. We've been testing it for several months now. And using the transcripts of all of these calls that come through CTM, we are able to use prompts to determine, is it a lead, yes or no? So that is one step of it, and it makes sure that we have better qualification. Yes?
I had a question.
Yeah.
The lead, if you're running a digital campaign for us,
Yeah.
does the lead come through you? Do you email the lead to us through
Nope.
Coalmarch? How do we get the lead?
It goes directly to you, so if it comes in through the website, then they would fill out a form through the website.
Direct them to our website?
Yep,
or-
yep. And if they call, it does go through the CTM system for tracking, but it goes directly to your main line. We don't touch it. We don't interact with customers at all. So everything goes directly to
I know
you.
this is irrelevant to probably anybody else in the room. I apologize.
No, you're good.
But can you integrate into a franchise system also? Because you'd be sending it to a Lawn Doctor corporate site, and they track it. They do have the tracking stuff on. So when we use
Yes.
Ego or Market Force, it did show the lead source coming in the way that it came in. Are you able to attach that?
So the lead source
track
does
every
not
lead.
transfer.
I know where it's coming from.
We can track the lead source. We do work with franchises though, and our reporting dashboard can report by location per franchise.
They gave a $30,000 spend at Kigo. They told us they got us, I think, close to 2,000 leads. I didn't need to get 20 leads.
See, it's not the first time I'm hearing this story.
I shied off of it.
Yeah,
Years I
yeah.
backed out, and I just let corporate do it, and my sales didn't change at all.
Yeah. And that's why I think AI lead qualification really does matter, because we do have a recording of all calls that come through. So historically, our team has done some like spot checking of calls that come in just to see how they're, like, are they good quality leads? But now we're able to use this AI lead qualification
Just the lead.
just to get it to you.
I didn't get a name and number.
Yeah.
There were 2,000
Are you a
of them.
PestPack Real Green customer?
Real Green.
Real Green? Yep, we have a direct integration with Real Green, so all leads go directly into the system. Yes, Jeff?
Maybe it would help if you compared how we used to qualify a lead.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Versus what AI lead qualification is, because there's a big gap.
Yes. So the kind of like the old way that agencies typically would record. So every web form that came in was counted as a lead, even if it was spam. It was kind of hard to filter through that. Every phone call that came in, Coalmarch would do it. If it was a first-time caller and the call lasted for greater than 60 seconds, we would track that as a lead. I know other agencies have less stringent rules on that and do calls longer than 30 seconds. But what you were saying is a very common concern from customers often, is that I'm seeing this in my CRM, you're telling me you're getting all these leads, I don't know where these leads are. So this really helps close that gap and makes it much more of a strict definition of a lead. So any other questions on that? Okay. So that's how we do lead reporting with this new system. And then, as I mentioned before, we pull sales totals, sales revenue, like number of sales per service, out of the CRM. So PestPack and SA5, this is set up for. So and then obviously on the marketing side, we have your marketing spend, and we can look at the revenue earned based on those numbers. And then we take those numbers, we calculate your cost per lead, we calculate your cost per sale, we calculate the ROI per source, so we can say we spent this much in PPC ads in the last month, and here's the revenue you generated from those leads. So that is all reported in our reporting dashboard. Any other questions? Anything else to add?
No, I think it's good. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just trying to answer, if you give us $5, can we turn it into 10?
Now you're just reading from my future slides.
I was
So here's an example of what this can look like. We represent this data in a lot of different ways on our dashboard. Some people like to look in table view where it's much more detailed. We've also got different graphs. We've got key metrics for quick reference data, and then executive summaries on our dashboard to give you a quick glance overview of what this could look like. So you'll see it's got sales numbers, it's got total cost per sale, and then it would also have ROI percentage on each source as well. Okay, I'm done talking about how Coalmarch does this. Now let me get into how you can use this data. So what does this enable for leaders, sales, and marketing? I used AI to enhance some of my slides, and that's why some of the craziness is happening. Okay, so ROI reporting is not a report. That is just the start of the journey. It is how you align your marketing team, your sales team, your leadership team around the same numbers so that everybody's working off the same playbook. Because every one of those groups wants your business to be a success. And if you're working off of the same numbers, you can work together to achieve that success. Where historically it's pointing fingers, no, sales didn't do this thing or marketing didn't do this thing. But if you're all operating off of the same playbook, you can work together to fine tune how you operate so that your performance can improve. So reporting is just the beginning. Getting this data is just step one. There's so much to do after you start gathering this data. Decision making and optimization based on this data is the real end point of what it can do for you. So what do leaders gain? One shared view of performance, confidence in budgeting and scaling decisions, data-driven decisions, making you and your marketing team more confident in how you operate. So we always say at Coalmarch, we need to operate off of data and not feelings. This gives you the data to be able to kind of support maybe some of the feelings you're having, or maybe calm down some of the feelings you're having. All right, this is what I would recommend becomes your kind of scorecard of performance. Review it monthly, review it weekly. The lead indicators for success are the common ones: the number of leads, the cost per lead, number of sales, cost per sale. The true indicators of success, those lag indicators, are new sales revenue that came in and the return on investment for those. So what was my growth and what was my profit from that growth? Levers you can pull. This is where the optimization comes in, and I'll go into each one of these in a little bit of detail. But levers you can pull, where you invest your marketing dollars, that's like the example that I gave earlier. How much you invest. Once you start seeing the ROI on some of these things, you might decide to invest more in certain areas and put more budget turns things. That's the change $5 into $10 mindset. Sales conversion rate as well can be optimized based on this new info, and average deal size. So we'll talk about each of those. All right, where you invest. This is probably the biggest thing that us as marketers get excited about with this data. So testing new channels. We do this, with a lot of our customers who want to be a little bit more risky. They allow us to test these new channels, see if it works, and then when we know what works, we apply it to all of our customers. So if you're in the more, I want to just try new things and see what works, this gives us the data to really be able to say, is it working? One of the other elements of this is in the last few years, I forget when we started doing this, but it's been a few years, we advise our customers on how to expand their businesses to different locations to maximize their marketing potential. So we've actually had businesses that go out and buy an office location based on our recommendation of how it can impact their SEO and their paid ads. And we're able to take that expense that they put into buying that new location and report on its ROI by the leads that come into that location. So you wouldn't think your real estate is impacting your marketing performance, but it very much does. And because of this data, we're able to report on the ROI of that investment. Any questions? Okay. Awesome. Okay. So also where,
Question.
yeah.
You're talking about getting the locations, you have a physical address for digital marketing?
Yep.
So you
That's
get-
exactly right. Yep.
I wanna make sure I understood what-
Yeah. Okay, so yes, this is kind of like a little disclaimer that I like to put out there, just because going back to the example, like if I could say I want to put all of my budget into oranges because the ROI on that is so huge, doesn't mean there's enough potential or opportunity in that channel to get the kind of growth or get the kind of revenue that you're looking for. So we really recommend like invest as much as you can in those channels that have the ROI, and then move on to the next in the queue of the next highest ROI. So some people are like, well, I'll just put all my money into LSA, and it's like that might not have enough demand on that channel. Okay, lever number 2, how much you invest. This is just, are you willing to spend $1 to make $5? I know a lot of people are hesitant to put more and more money into their marketing budget every year. Sometimes it seems very intangible of what you get out of it, but because you have this data now for ROI for each channel, it can help you make these decisions with confidence. We've had some customers significantly increase their ad budgets in certain areas because they had information that allowed them to know it will be successful. It is worth spending that $1 because I can get so much out of it. So this just really connects the dots on that. Lever number 3, sales conversion rate. I could give a whole presentation on this probably alone, but I would say sales conversion is one of the biggest levers that you can pull to improve your ROI per lead and per sale. I would say a strong sales team in this industry closes at about 50 to 60%. So if you're not operating in that window, I would take a look at how your teams are performing. There are some really cool tools in this area that use AI analysis of your sales team to kind of give you advice on like ways that they can improve, and there's lots of new technology in this area right now. So lots of ways to help you get informed on what's going on. But determine trends for lost leads. Is it your price point? Is it the location you're offering, the timing of something? Are your sales team members educated enough on what they're trying to sell? There's lots of different things that could impact this conversion rate. So just make sure you're monitoring it, and also keeping in mind with the ROI reporting and the AI lead qualification, your conversion rate might be a little bit different from what you're used to seeing from your CRM, because you're counting more things as leads that maybe aren't in your CRM to start. So big one there. Average deal size, this one's very near and dear to my heart, but making sure that you are optimizing for recurring services. Look at what percentage of your revenue is generated from one-time services, and find ways to make sure that your sales team is promoting those recurring services. Companies that offer recurring services and push customers toward that over one time grow 5 times faster than those who have one time. If you're constantly trying to replenish the revenue that you've already sold because everybody's buying one time, you're never going to catch up. You're never going to grow. You're never going to get bigger. It's like a hamster in a wheel, just trying to keep things going. So really focus on that recurring revenue and the retention of that recurring revenue, so that you can keep that average deal size as high as possible. And then along the same vein, number of services per customer. Make sure you have an upsell strategy for your existing customers to cross-sell and upsell them on additional services. I feel like this is one of the probably number one underutilized areas in this industry, is focusing on the customers that you have. You can close upsells with current customers at 60-70% conversion rate over selling to new customers at 40 to 50%. So it's a much easier way to generate additional revenue than trying to constantly chase those new leads. And make sure that your sales team members, when somebody calls in for a service, even for the first time, that they're offering upsell opportunities. Make it part of their call script. Make sure they're asking for that sale. And elevate that average cost per sale, because if your average cost per sale is higher, your ROI on that marketing spend is higher. Okay, so once you have the data, you can optimize your output. That's what all of those different levers you can pull is focused on, is improving the performance of that ROI. And getting started, this is my little sales pitch. Good news is, if you have Coalmarch and you have Pest Packer Real Green, we will set this up for you. It comes with your service with us at no additional cost to you. We will offer it to all of our customers. No API fee, no fee from us. It's just part of our standard solution. So keep that in mind. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Any questions on anything today? Nope. Yeah.
So what if, like, the way we're set up, our current marketing company handles our Google Ads, and then we have another person that handles LSA stuff. Are we able to kind of tie some of that LSA stuff still into that system, or would that not be able to be reported on?
So if you were with Coalmarch and we manage those for you, we would put tracking on all of those different sources. So that's the CTM tracking, the phone numbers that we put on everything.
Right.
That's part of our service as well. And that kind of all feeds into one reporting system.
Okay, so then you can still report on the LSA side?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's cool.
Any other questions? Nope. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody. I hope you got some good nuggets out of today, and I will be at the Coalmarch booth if you have any follow-up questions as well. Thank you.